Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yes, indeed, it is Sunday, and it's not exactly sunny outside in Shelton, Washington. It's been kind of gray and cloudy here lately. There is the big difference between weather and climate. Weather is what you are experiencing. Like, the weather in Shelton has been unseasonably cool. The past couple years, it has been blisteringly hot this time of year. This year, it has not been bad. And climate, of course, the big difference is it's been the hottest year on record because every single month of every single year is the hottest on record. Yay. I don't want the planet to come to an end. I don't want our species to end. I don't want our species to take out the rest of the species on the planet. I mean, I know we're headed for it as fast as we can. Capitalism and the profit motive, you know, you're making money today. Tomorrow everyone's gonna die, but you're making money today. So I don't know if there's any hope. I hope, but I doubt it. I mean, as long as people are encouraged to make money over everything else, then that's what you get. But life is life. That's as much as I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to dwell on the depressing and the awful and the hideous. Instead, I wanted to talk about a whole bunch of other things that I cannot even remember, of course, now that the webcam is turned on. Hokey smokes. I mean, literally, I have 1,001 things that I want to talk about. But the minute I turn on the webcam, absolutely every single one of them leave my mind. But that's okay. I mean, it happens. People have asked me to talk about, you know, like life stories, whether it's Air Force stories or not. So I'm slurring around my dentures real bad today. I foolishly put a bit of denture adhesive on my top plate. Now it's not fitting the way it normally fits. And so I'm slurring and it all sounds wrong and different. My sincere apologies. I so desperately, I don't know how I'm going to get them fixed. I mean, I need to get, it costs $90 per plate. That's $180 that I have to spend to get the soft liners to make these fit again. Until I do so, each time I do anything, talk or bite or eat, it puts stressors on these things that's going to break them again. But I can't even afford to make a payment plan of $57 to the U.S. government because I'm so far negative, and so then the government's taking money out of my paycheck, and now, well, we're back in depressing land again. I'm going to try and make a video today asking for help. I hate doing it. I know it's okay to ask for help, but I hate doing it because of my bloody upbringing. I mean, my grandparents and my grandparents were Depression era, and they trained, you know, my mother, and then my mother, of course, pushed that into me. And now, after all these years, I still have, no matter how aware you are of these things, you're always going to have the sound files playing in your background. You have to be aware of that and try to actively work against that. I mean, I've talked about this before, I'll say it again. My grandparents taught my mother, and my mother taught me, and I know this is wrong, that if you have a problem, shut up about it. Nobody wants to hear it. Take care of it yourself, and if you can't do that, die, so that you're out of the way. That runs through my head all the time. Every single time I think about asking for any kind of help. I know it's not right, and it shouldn't be right. And there's people out there that are determined to not make that right because they find it just as aberrant as I do. And so people are trying, and people are helping, and people want to help. And so by not asking for help, you are, number one, denying yourself help, and number two, denying other people the opportunity to help when they want. So you can help yourself, and you can help other people by asking for help. It's not a bad thing. Do not suffer in silence. There's no reason to suffer in silence. If you can't take care of it yourself, ask for help. That's what other people are waiting for. And don't just die if you can't take care of an issue. Never stop fighting. Please. I didn't mean to get heavy duty. I've just been trying to be light and fluffy because they were light and fluffy things that I was thinking about, that I've been wanting to talk about. I mean, they're not grand and wonderful things. They're just things like, hey, this has been going on with my hamster, and I want to talk about that. Or, hey, this has been going on with my cat. And then it's just little tiny things, but they're things that I can't even talk about because right now I've forgotten. But again, well, I can talk about this one because I have actually wanted to talk about this, and I did remember. Excuse me. There is a 1% chance that I'm going to die horribly of tuberculosis at some point in my life. Just a 1% chance. I worked in healthcare for 10 years before, well, it was closer to 11 or 12, before I crashed and burned with my alcoholism. During all that time, taking care of all sorts of people, I was fine because they check you for TB every single year. I went to rehab, and guess what I picked up? Tuberculosis. Yep, I picked it up. I became TB positive because I contracted TB. If I was living back in the 1800s, I would probably be dead now from tuberculosis because I caught it. Yay, I got tuberculosis, and it's a killer. It is a killer. I talked about this, how I found out one of the reasons in American cities spitting on sidewalks is illegal is because during the height of tuberculosis being spread everywhere, they figured out that spitting, because of the wet particles, helped spread tuberculosis. So they made it illegal, and that helped curb the spread. And we still have that law on the books now in many places because, well, why take it off? But that's why, tuberculosis. Ordinarily, this would make you die having tuberculosis. But the health department in Bellingham, Washington provided me with a 2-course series of medications. You have to take both of the series. The first one lowers your risk of dying to about 10%. The second one lowers it to 1%. So I could die horribly of tuberculosis at some point. And thinking about it, I've got a scatter shot of little hard nodules in my lungs. Could be because of that before I got the meds. Hard to say. But yeah, I took the meds. So anytime anybody does one of those PPD checks for tuberculosis, I'm always going to come up positive. So I got to tell people, yeah, I'm TB positive, but I don't have TB, and I took the meds for it. So I don't have any of the paperwork to prove that I did. They'd have to contact the Department of whatever in Bellingham, Washington around the 2000 period. Because that's when I went into rehab, and then I found out afterwards. So thumbs up. It's good to have horrific diseases that in the past would have killed people. And even present. It's a big issue right now because they have I woke up late this morning. I woke up in the middle of the night and had a huge period where I couldn't fall asleep. And then I fell back asleep at about 6 o'clock, and then woke up at about 10 to 7. Since then, I have been running real hard just to stay as far behind as I am. Thumbs up for that. So that's one of the reasons that things are going on the way that they're going on. And I have found that if I use my voice beforehand, then I do a lot less of that. I didn't have time to use my voice beforehand. I've been in just such a rush trying to get things finished. And of course, today is going to be a day that hopefully I'm going to get my hamsters moved. And little Gojira, she's back into living in her mason jar, so that's a good thing. She's down in her mason jar right now. And then all my other hamsters are happy and friendly. Last night, I went to grab little Thigmo because he was at the edge. Not at the edge. When I looked downward like this. So irritating. The two cages that I have here run that direction. Thigmo's cage runs this direction so that the two cages can sit on top. Between those two cages, I can look down into Thigmo's cage since they are buckets that go like this. You know, they have a large bottom area, but they do have lips that are wider than the base. So I can look down between them. I am so sorry. I can look down between them, and then I can see a little Thigmo if he's running around. I looked down there, and he was up on his little hind legs looking up at me as I was moving around. So I reached down there. And normally, if I do that, he takes off running. This time, no matter what I did, he was staying around my hand. So finally, I went in slower, and I was able to pick him up, and he had no issues. Because I'd go in over the top, try to grab him, and then he'd freak out, flip over, and then I'd take my hand back. But then instead of running, he'd stay there. So I finally got him up into my hand, found out at last that one of the reasons he was running was not because he was less nervous, but I had picked up either last night or I didn't remember picking anybody else up this morning, so it must have been from last night, which is like, oops, should have washed my hands, huh? He must have smelled one of the female hamsters that I've been handling last night because he was licking at parts of my fingers. Or it could have been some food that I'd eaten, perhaps. I don't know. But either way, he liked whatever was on my hand. And so he was sticking with that so he could lick my hand. I wash my hands. I wash my whole body. I do all that stuff. It's just, I don't wash my hands 24/7. So if oh yeah. I'd had some fruit stuff this morning. So he's looking at the fruit stuff on my fingers. Probably lucky he didn't bite me. Huh. Yeah. Since that's how they experience the world. Their eyes are important, but they do most of their serious information gathering through their ears and their nose and their tongue and their teeth. So that's why if they bite, they're not... Unless it's a situation like where Thigmo was running on his wheel, and I came in too quickly, and he nipped at me and then ran, where the idea is cause pain, and then when they go, hey, you dash. So while he's done that, they've never just tried to bite me recently. In fact, I haven't been bitten in quite some time. Thank goodness. Oh, I used to get bit all the time. I'd have bite marks on if there wasn't a bite mark on one of these fingers, there was a bite on one of these fingers. I always had a bite on one of my hands. It's been a couple of years now. Either it's because I'm treating my hamsters better or I'm just lucky. Thumbs up. Bites are awful. Because they have those really, really long teeth. So when they dig in deep. And I've had situations where I've gotten bitten on the finger and gone, and lifted up my hand. And then had a hamster dangling from my finger from the bite. So that's happened and been fun. I've been lucky because I've washed them out and then used alcohol and stuff. And you can get bad, horrible, awful diseases. Because there are diseases that hamsters have that can spread to people. So you got to be careful. And after all, since they think that the brown recluse bite of the spider is not because of the venom, but because of methampicillin-resistant Staphylococcus MRSA. I think that's the methampicillin. Just go with MRSA. it's a bad thing and we're fighting it in healthcare. They think that's what causes the problem. You get a bite and then it never heals, and maybe you lose huge amounts of flesh and possible amputation. It doesn't seem to happen with all of them, but enough, and it looks like it might be MRSA on the skin instead of the actual spider. Joy. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I am not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them later, but I'm thumbs up each one I do and answer as many as I can. But for right now, I'm just thanking you for having left me a comment. A good comment, a bad comment, and a different comment. The fact is, you left me a comment. Thank you very, very much. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're just not good at that sort of thing. And of course, it is a range of 20 to 25 because even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, and more, I'm lucky that I can remember anything. My memory is 1,000% better than it used to be and getting better all the time, but still not as good as most. The Pumpkin King, greatly appreciated, and son of a gun, Shelton is a interesting place. And Sam Hopf, thumbs up and thank you. A Shulman, I sure hope I'm close, thank you very much. And Dander, greatly appreciated. Ice Damon, always good to see you in the comments. Jordan Bank, thumbs up and thank you. Isaiah Berter, thumbs up. And then there is T5 Unknown Series, how about that? Russian Timing, greatly appreciated. And Zombie Wolf, good to see you in the comments. Sebastian Ferris, Mountain Sheep. Thijs Dreisig, I sure hope I'm close. Black Cheez-It, greatly appreciated, and thank you so very much. Kit Kat, thank you very much. Kobe Brizali, I know I'm nowhere close, but thank you. Then we have Masu Boy, greatly appreciated. I will miss you though, thumbs up and thank you. Gerda Verskevechute, I'm nowhere close, and I went from one language to another, I think, but thank you very, very much, even though I can't pronounce your name. So annoying, and my sincere apologies. And Confused Owl 29, thumbs up and thank you. Paradox, with no O in there, it says P-A-R-A-A-D-X, thank you very much. Then, did I thank Russian Timing already? If not, thank you very, very much. Potatotron, always good to see you in the comments. Definitely a thumbs up. B, greatly appreciated. Shinji Matthews, thumbs up and thank you. And Big Frogums, greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. Oh my Lord God. And even that's not shaking it loose. It's just going to be annoying. I am so very sorry. Tilt my hand, lift that things out. Try to get even. Symmetry in all things. Not necessarily. Hey, if you could check out my various links, though, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, NearlySeniorCitizen.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them on the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get, oh my Lord God, validation I get from my existence. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, especially with all the bloody throat clearing. But if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now to the literal end of time. Definitely a good thing. Well, obviously I've got this video. I'm going to have another video. I have the game video, the second part of the one I did yesterday. I'm going to make a video where I'm going to ask for help because I really don't want to become homeless, and I'm going to become homeless, and that I will go dark and hopefully not die. And then maybe in a couple years I'll be able to get enough money to come back to YouTube if that happens. So if you don't want to see me vanish, can you help? I will survive somehow. I just would like to survive in a home and not on the street dying because of my sleep apnea mask not like being able to work. But as stated, I have a bunch of videos and I'm going to keep doing things, so you take care. Bloody hell. You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. I am so sorry about my clearing my throat so much. It just drives me nuts.